What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Bassline Frequency podcast. I'm your host, Brian, aka Scope the Producer. And this is where bass music, car audio, and real life experience meet. So if you're new here, this podcast is about helping you enjoy bass without wasting money. And if you've been rocking with me, you already know how we do. So, without further ado, let's get to it, huh? Alright, so today's question, and I gotta say, I've seen this a lot. This one is searched a lot. And the question is, why does my system still sound weak even after I spent a lot of money? Now, I'm pretty sure that we talked about this a little bit in previous episodes, but we're going to take it just a step longer. Well, a step further, should I say. So, let's do it. Question is again, why does my system still sound weak even after I spent a lot of money? Man, drum roll. Okay, I'm just kidding. If you ever said, man, I know I spent enough. Yeah, this episode is for you. You spent enough, you just know you spent enough and it still don't sound right. Well, this question is always has come back to priorities, should I say, because that's what this episode is about, is priorities. So, not bad equipment, not fake brands. My friend, is priorities. So, we're going to talk about that now, because I've seen people with $2,000 systems sound worse than somebody who spent $600, and that ain't supposed to happen. But most of the time, the system sounds weak because the money went out of order. Listen to me. Hear me out. Hear me out. People jump straight to subs and announce before handling the stuff that actually makes bass work. Let's see. Let's talk about the power before the bass. Point blank, if your electrical can't feed the system, the bass can't show up. It's like trying to breathe through a straw and then running a marathon. You're not going to do that. You're going to fall out before you get to the first lap. And priority number 2. That was priority number 1, power before bass. Priority number 2, box, brand. You can have the best sub in the world in the wrong box and it'll sound trash. The box is literally the instrument. Now, I'm going to say this. I've done that. And, yeah. Okay, y'all. So, I bought some, what kind of 12s? I can't remember what kind of 12s. I think they were Pioneer 12s. I think they was. They were alright Pioneers. Yeah, that was alright. But then I bought this actual kick box that goes in the trunk. It was like it wasn't deep. It wasn't God. You know what, y'all? My brain done froze up, but it was a thin box. Make a long story short, and that bass sounded horrible. I was cutting it up, and I mean, God, it was nothing to behold. I'm gonna put it like that. It was nothing. I think my highs overpowered the box, and you could hear the box. It was just rattling It was rattling harder than the trunk was. And I'm like, ugh, yeah, I gotta get me some more stuff. But let's go on to priority number 3. Priority number 3, you all, is tuning beats loudness. If everything is just turned up, like I said earlier, because it sounds harder, that's not tuning, that's guessing. Point blank. And guessing, you all, correct, is expensive. You better know it. So, priority number 4, let's talk about real expectations. Some people want demo bass, and some want clean daily bass. If you don't know which one you want, well, the system is not going to tell you, and the system never will. You are going to have to figure that one out for yourself. And believe it or not, it does matter. So, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't realize that myself. I think I'm more of a daily bass person. So, but we'll get on to that a little bit later on, down the road. A couple of more episodes, we'll actually talk about demo bass versus daily bass. Might surprise you. So anyway, let's move right on. Before we go any further, I'm not gonna have this episode be too long. I think we can talk about a little bit more in other episodes, but I want to get these priorities out the way. Let's do this. I want to say one thing, because some of this stuff I did write down so I can actually make sure that this episode actually makes sense. But I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to finish rambling about some of the stuff that I jotted down. So if you hear it again, well, then it's actually meant for you. I'm going to say this point blank, period. Do not, I repeat, do not take your baby's food money, your rent money, your wife's or husband's money, or whoever else's money that belongs to something else to put towards your system. Don't do it. Please don't do it. I don't want to see y'all out there on the streets. But yeah, we're going to keep on going on with the bass track of the week. Now, before I do the bass track of the week, I'm going to say this track is pause. Let me see. I picked this one because it shows controlled low ends and not just loud noise. So if your system is set up right, you'll hear it. You'll definitely hear the difference immediately. So let's go.
Let's play Hijack the Bass.
Hijack the Bass.
Your bass is under my control, don't try to get it back.
Alright, so I'm gonna get real cool with you real quick. So check this out. I'm not saying this to talk down to anybody. I've wasted money too. I've learned the hard way. Yeah, I'm bringing this back up, y'all, about this priority part. The podcast exists so you don't have to learn every lesson by burning your wallet. So, thought I was finna go back about don't do the stuff for the baby, don't take the baby's food money, and nah, I'm not finna go no further. You pretty much get that point. So, now that we're out of that, if this episode helped you even a little, feel free to hit the like button, drop a comment, because y'all are quiet out there. Tell me what part I hit home. And if you also want to keep up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you want to hear more bass music, check out the links in the description. Or you can look up Scope. Jeez, I should know my name by now. Brian, aka Scope the Producer. But just put Scope the Producer. You'll pretty much find me. Scope the Producer presents bass or whatever. One of them. Okay, so this has been the Bassline Frequency podcast. Remember, y'all, priority first, bass second, regrets never. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Yeah. I'ma holla.